Welcome to Inspire and Move, the show that inspires you to create, connect, and grow. I'm going to bring you meaningful conversations, aha moments, and all the motivation you need to up-level every part of your life. I'm Ali Aruda, founder of Inspire and Move, and your personal hype girl. I've gone from fashion school to celebrity stylist to corporate marketing to brick and mortar entrepreneurship with my husband, each time learning incredible lessons how to pivot, reimagine, and implement the steps to become successful. I am passionate about inspiring others to live their best life, a life of joy. We have the power to design a life that we love because life is too short not to. The best part is that you weren't meant to do this alone. If you feel like you were meant for more, let me ride shotgun with you, and together, let's get you to where you want to go.
I think the next one is, as far as what we're going to talk about with making sure that you find the most abundance this year, is building your network.
Yay!
Right? And it doesn't necessarily mean you have to go far and wide to get them. Maybe you do. And that's just a reality.
We've done that.
Maybe you do. Maybe you have to spend some money and travel some miles to get into the room to find the people that align with not just what you want, but also who magically you can also help and who you can also impact. So it becomes this symbiotic relationship where you're both feeding each other and it feels good because everybody wins.
Absolutely. And one of the next things I want to do, guys, a lot of these are things that Matt and I welcome into our life anyways. And so it's really exciting to be sharing this with all of you in more of a concise place between the Instagram live that's going, the podcast episode, YouTube, and there will also be a blog post to support this as well. But one of the things that I want to mention is to practice gratitude. And it's amazing because we are coming off of the holidays where I feel like everyone typically operates with like more love and kindness, hopefully, although I feel like some people could be Scrooges and Gremlins. But in the Inspire and Move community, we are talking about love and kindness and gratitude. And that is a practice that Matt and I do every morning, unless we start our day aggressively early at Benchmark, our gym. But we like to start, and we've adopted Chris and Lori Harder's Power 9. Again, it's time to share credit where credit is due. We did not come up with this. Chris and Lori did. It's the Power 9. And that
Powerful
is
stuff, though.
It is.
Yeah.
Why don't you tell everyone?
But it's powerful in the sense where it's all stuff that you can implement. And where it becomes most effective is with the implementation of it as often as possible. Daily would be ideal. Not saying this once and maybe catching back up with it a month later. But the idea is to have each person, whoever it is you are sharing with, or maybe you're doing it by yourself, which is completely fine. You're going to share 3 things that you're grateful for, 3 things that you are excited about, whether they are about to happen or you want them to happen, and then 3 things that you are manifesting. We've actually taken it a step further, and we don't just say it out loud to one another, but we've also written it down. And that's kind of fun because over the course of what has been 2024, we then had an entire book of hundreds of these entries between Ali and myself. And we don't always ask for the same things or always say the same things. We're very grateful for a lot of things, but maybe not at the same time to be the exact same thing. But all that said, we'll look back at it and look at what was in our Power 9s over the course of the year. And it's amazing to see how many of those things have come to fruition. And it's not coincidental more often than not.
Love it.
Yeah.
All right, we're in our home stretch. We have 3 more things to share, and then we will tie a bow on everything and recap. So the next one is, and this is definitely Matt's domain.
Let's create a financial plan.
Woo!
Boring, but so important, right?
Especially for your most abundant year ever, guys.
Yes, I think it's always funny because I go back to when I was a kid and having my mom tell me it's not how much you make, it's how much you keep, and it's so accurate in the sense where we want everybody to make as much money as they can so that they can do great things with it. They can impact more people with it. They can live their own wonderful life, whatever that looks like for them. But the real idea of money is as a tool to then be able to impact as many people, hopefully positively, as possible thereafter. But none of that happens unless you've got a plan with what that looks like. So the idea of checking in on your finances regularly, whether that's daily or otherwise, I don't think you can check in on them enough. And then knowing what the plan is for every dollar that comes in, every dollar that you earn. Obviously, we all have expenses, whatever that looks like. Rent, mortgage, food, gas, bills. We all know there's a certain amount that's already earmarked for what are the necessities of life. But hopefully, and ideally, there's going to be a little bit that's left over. And it doesn't need to be a ton. But what you do with that is where the real magic happens. And there's a portion of it, percentages of which you should look at to be able to put to certain places, whether they be in any type of investment that you know you're looking after yourself down the road. They don't need to be aggressive investments. They don't all have to be put into startups or things of that nature. But making sure you're looking after yourself on that end is number one. And then beyond that, think of other things that fill you up inside, whether it be charitable donations or having a X fund that allows you to take somebody out to lunch once a month and just have a conversation with them that who knows what ends up coming from it long term. But the idea of having a plan with every dollar that you earn, every dollar that you bring in, I think is going to be the single most, because we all know money is incredibly stressful. But if you can have a plan in place, you then take the power away from these dollars. And you're the one who then becomes in control because you know exactly where every single one of those dollars are going to move to once they hit your bank account.
I love that. So when I was saying this to maybe one of our trainers at the gym not too long ago, how money used to be a scary topic for me. I didn't feel confident talking about it. And this is also in a very different time of my life that kind of was complementary to probably the fear surrounding money. But now I really enjoy talking about it. And I actually said to Matt the other day, which was very much in January 2025, I was like, we should have weekly money dates and, just check in.
Which you never would have said in previous years up to that point. It was kind of ignorance is bliss almost of a mentality, which is how, if I'm being honest, most of us operate. Mm-hmm. Where hopefully we make enough money to cover the expenses that we have on a monthly basis. And that is for the people that we know, the people that are likely listening to this podcast or Instagram Live. We all work way too damn hard for our money for us to not feel, or more accurately know, that we're going to be more than okay every month and not hopefully just have enough to cover whatever the expenses are that come up from month to month. So the ignorance is bliss idea, throw it out the window. And instead of that, take control of this massively important portion of your life, and you direct all the soldiers that come through to your bank account to fight whatever it is that you need it to be, however is going to set you up to be most successful.
And one thing we'll most definitely link this in the show notes, but is our friend Mel Abraham.
The best.
He is a genius human. He's got great content between his podcast, his own Instagram lives and Instagram content, but also his books. His newest one, Build Your Money Machine, is one of the books that I read last year.
Very digestible stuff too. You do not need to come from financial backgrounds. It's foundational stuff that you can take to whatever scale you want, quite frankly. Either way, he holds your hand chapter after chapter as to what the next step is to make sure that the money you're making now sets you up to make even more, to do better things with down the road.
Yeah, so we'll link that in the show notes because he's a gem.
Yeah.
All right, so we have 2 more things to share. Number 9, prioritize health and fitness. You guys, if you follow us, you know that we own a gym. So we are super passionate about fitness, but it's also just how it makes you feel. And people always ask me, I always get asked this question, how do I have so much energy? You have the best energy. How do you get it? Where do you get it from? Fitness is fuel for me. And it is so important for me. It is everything mental, physical, emotional, mind, body, spirit.
Yeah. Yeah. All of it.
It's my North Star, and I have a powerful story that is the why behind I am who I am and why I love fitness so much and why I want to train to be strong and functional in life. But even if it's something that you are at, baseline, that fitness is no bueno for you, just start by adding in some daily steps. Get out for a walk or find a gym that has a great treadmill, because then you can go and you can habit stack with personal development and not only just move your body, but you can also exercise your brain. But really leaning into embracing some health and fitness goals and routine and habits. It's going to work wonders for you in every element of your life. How you show up in relationships with your spouse, with your family, with your friends, how you show up in your business, how you show up to your customers online. And it's going to also help from a longevity standpoint for your own life and your health.
And I don't think it's any coincidence at all. As many books as we read through the course of the year, or even not even necessarily reading books, but just listening to podcasts or having incredible podcast hosts interview other incredible leaders in entrepreneurial space, in the business space. The one non-negotiable for honest to goodness, 90% of these men and women is they need to make sure that their physical is right, whatever that looks like for them. But it's a non-negotiable. You think of some of the most successful people in business, And the one thing that is never going to be left off the list of what needs to be done in any given day is making sure that their fitness is looked after first. They set it up, whether it be earlier in the day, whether it be at some point with a program, wherever they happen to be at whatever hotel, resort, on their plane, for God's sakes. It's the same story that we hear over and over again. It's the one non-negotiable with any of these uber successful humans is making sure their health and fitness is priority.
And just to kind of tie a bow on that before Matt brings it home with our last one, number 10, is one of my favorite authors, Robin Sharma. He talks about your mindset, your health set, and your heart set, and really breaking that down to your mind, your body, and your spirit, and ensuring that you are providing fuel to all three of those players. And, reading, consuming content that makes you feel good, that exercises your mind, journaling so you can work on your spirituality and your feelings and of course your relationships, and then your health set. How are you moving your body? What are you fueling your body with? What time are you going to bed? There are so many elements to that. I mean, that alone is something that we could dive into in another episode, but really just think about that when you are kind of reflecting on what you learned from today's episode and today's Instagram live. Is how can you give more love, attention, and fuel into those areas of your life?
And lastly, and Lord knows there's many, many other different points that we could be making that's going to determine what the best way of growth is for you. This is what we are looking at to be what's going to really move the needle for us. What we've already recognized in the years of tapping into trying to make the best formula for us. These are the points that have really moved the needle for whatever that success means for us. And the last point in that end is doing as much as you can to embrace a growth mindset. So it's really hard to think about what it looks like in your life 5 years, 10 years, 20, 30 years down the road if you can't think of anything positive. If it's negative stuff, it is what keeps you locked in here. It's the positive stuff that allows you to think and look forward to what all of the next things are going to be. And then more than that, hopefully, is what fuels you to find the steps in between to get from one positive spot to the next positive spot. You have to take different shots. You have to look for opportunities and be willing to jump on them. The one thing that I will say is that the amount of opportunities that we have had in the last 2 years have been directly proportionate to how many opportunities we've taken. So none of those opportunities become available. They don't show themselves unless we had taken the opportunity first to do something that we hadn't done before, or to do it in a larger scale than what we had done up to that point. Once we did that and took advantage of that opportunity, as scary as it seemed at the time or before we actually made the jump, the opportunities and the larger opportunities that came after is entirely because of the opportunity that we took advantage of immediately before.
Absolutely. And I mean, there's for sure a sports analogy here about shots that you took and shots that you didn't take. But I was saying to two of the girls on our amazing team at Benchmark, we had a little mentorship session earlier this week. And I was saying to them how you can't expect to grow and evolve as the same person if you aren't willing to do things differently. You can't grow and want change and progress forward if you're not willing to do the work to take action and grow and progress forward.
And the irony is, it's a choice either way. Mm-hmm. The idea of doing nothing, or the idea of doing everything that has always ever been done and nothing other than that, that's a choice. But the idea of either radically changing something up, and by radically I mean something as nuts as turning your side hustle into a main hustle, or moving homes, moving countries, that's huge. If there's a proper reason behind it, go to town. But it doesn't need to be anything quite that large. Maybe it's something, especially this time of year, early January, where obviously with Ali and I owning Benchmark, we see quite the influx of what the interest level is at the end of December going into early January. And even something as simple as somebody waking up on January 1st or 2nd or 3rd or whomever it's been in this last week that has said to themselves, I haven't been to the gym in the last 6 months. I haven't found a community. I haven't found the motivation, whatever that story looks like to them, to go and do something for myself at a place that I know I'll leave physically and mentally better, if not anything else. And now making that decision to get in the car or to pick up the phone and ask if there are spots available at the gym that they live closest to, whatever the story is, to join that class, to go on that dog walk, it's still a decision. As small as that might be, it becomes the predecessor to every other larger decision that you get faced with moving forward. And that's all you could ask for is choice. Decisions to make other choices that then put yourself in a position to be the best version of yourself.
I love this. I mean, I knew I was excited to talk about all of these things today. Let's just tie a bow on all the things that we've talked about to set yourself up for success for 2025, to set yourself up for the most abundant 2025 that you could have. So, number 1, reflect on the past.
Number 2, set clear goals and intentions, as clear as possible.
Number 3, try out vision boarding, visualization.
Number 4, journaling, or any part of writing something down, saying it out loud so that it becomes more real and activates the triggers necessary in the brain to go from what was only woo to now being science-backed.
Ooh, yeah, there's a woo for you. Number 5, consume personal development. And again, this is an excellent opportunity to tie in health and fitness goals, get some movement in that indoor or outdoor walk or recovery.
Number 6, build your network. Get in the room. Stop me if you've heard this before.
Number 7, practice gratitude.
Number 8, create a financial plan.
Number 9, prioritize health and fitness. And hey, add some personal development to it while you're at it.
And number 10, and to bring it all home, embrace a growth mindset.
I hope this resonated with you guys. And we're going to share everything on the blog as well as Instagram. So we're really trying to embrace multiple channels so that depending on where and how you like to consume your content, we have something for you. We got your back, especially when it comes to setting yourself up for an amazing year, a successful year, an abundant year, a happy year.
It's funny you say that. Aren't you working on something right now for what will be 6 very lucky people once this gets launched over the course of the next 1 to 2 weeks?
Yes.
And are those 6 super lucky women going to be able to take part of all of the incredible insights that you've learned and you've implemented in the course of the last few years of your own growth development?
Yes.
Should we say more?
Yes. Go for it.
We are on the precipice of Ali Aruda launching her one-on-one mentoring and coaching program. It will be limited to 6 people, men or women, doesn't matter, in whatever stage of your entrepreneurship journey that you are on. We have it at 6 only because we want to ensure that there's plenty of dedicated time to not just dive into the where you are right now, but to how to get to where you want to go moving forward. And less doesn't necessarily mean that there's going to be less time, and that's actually the exact opposite. That 6 people and only having a roster of 6 individuals is going to mean highly personalized attention over the course of what will be an 8-week period, to be able to really dive into what the challenges are, create new goals, and then step-by-step plans on how we're going to rock that out.
And we're going to focus all on business, personal brand, and fitness. So it's a combination of things that I really love and I'm passionate about, but also that I have a lot of experience in.
And that have made you the incredibly successful and well-rounded human being that you are right now.
Thanks, love.
Yeah.
Well, stay tuned, guys. We're going to have a lot of just little teaser videos leading up to the launch, and you will see it on the Inspire and Move Instagram.
But first 6 take it.
Yeah.
So if there's any interest in this, having an incredible leader, talking about getting in the room, literally bringing the room to you, all of the years and all of the dollars spent to be able to create the knowledge bank that lives upstairs for you to now be shared accordingly. That's the idea here, right? To impact as many people as possible along the way from the things that we've learned on our end.
Yeah, I can't wait. I'm really excited about it. I've been thinking about it for a while, and
you're going to crush it. And the men or women that are going to sign up to be part of your one-on-one mentorship or coaching program, they are going to be so much better for it. My God, it's going to be very impactful stuff.
Thanks, love.
Yeah,
appreciate you. I love you, and thank you for the support.
I gotcha.
Guys, if it's something that resonates, hey, slide into the DMs, and we can start dialoguing before we even launch this baby. And hey, maybe you'll even have a spot prior to the launch. So I have so much love and gratitude for all of you in the Inspire and Move community. Thank you for being here. Wishing you all the biggest, most abundant, most successful, and happiest 2025 that you can have. And let's do some great things this year.
Lots of love. Happy 25.
See you guys soon.
Bye.
Thank you so much for listening. If
If you love this episode, it would mean the world to me if you took 30 seconds and shared this on social media, send it to a friend, or leave a 5-star review. There is power in community, and I am so grateful to have you part of mine.